without issues. Seriously.
It would be unlike us to have a week that just ran smoothly.
Sorry, we're 10 minutes late, guys. Don't know what's going on there, but the camera software.
But they are smoking in the boys' room still. Still going.
Anyway.
Hey, look, I'm going to turn it off.
Yep, hopefully.
Hey, so...
must be something you messed around with when I was down the other end.
Yep, of course, that's what it was. I'd press buttons and I do that. I tend to do that a bit. So we'll get this up. We just got to, because we've had to change things a little bit. You can now see the whole bar, the front, and feel the wires and some of the other stuff that we've got going on. That's okay.
Sorry about that.
We're a little organic tonight.
We are. Why not?
Hey,
so, Glenn, how are you, mate? Thanks for joining us again.
And good to see you've got movement, Glenn. I'm really pleased to see that someone's got some movement, which is fantastic. G'day, PP. G'day, Shelley. G'day, Jared.
G'day, Pete.
How is everyone? I hope you've all had a cracking week. What?
I just accidentally wrote that. I genuinely didn't mean it.
Sorry for the late arrival of the Pet Shop Boys. Hey, Yak. There you go, mate. Yep, just opening a beer. Oh, that's an old band, I know who they are. An old boy band, but she's inferring that we are.
Trying to be funny.
Just auto-corrected to that.
Anyway, so here we are. We're on again.
We're here.
We're here.
And again, apologies.
Yep, apologies. We're just topping up our beer, and we'll tell you a little bit about this little puppy very, very shortly. So,
what's been happening this week, Pete?
Al?
Start again. Tell us about your great news this week.
Okay, so I've had some awesome family news this week. My eldest son, Lucas, his beautiful wife, Stace, have had their first little baby boy, my number 6 grandchild.
Yep.
Old Avery Jordan, or as we call him, Brady.
Yep. Brady Armstrong.
Yep, old Brady Armstrong, so that's who he'll be.
Mate, what was he thinking? He's a Tampa fan. Tampa are in the Super Bowl.
He's a Bucks fan, and he had a baby the weekend of the Super Bowl, and he doesn't give him the name. But anyway,
congratulations, guys.
So there it is. Yes, and yes, we are moving now. Hey, look, all moving parts. It's all happening.
Yep.
Although you're moving a bit slower tonight, mate. You okay?
Yeah, I'm fine.
All right.
I'm all good. Touch my ribs, I'll kill you.
So, congratulations, Luke and Stace. Can't wait to come and meet the little bloke tomorrow, and we couldn't be happier for you. So, awesome. Looking forward to it. It's good. It's good.
What else happened? As we said, Super Bowl.
We did.
Tampa Bay.
We had
victors over the Kansas City
Super Bowl Monday. It was a great game.
Yeah, it was.
And the halftime entertainment, it was bagged by the NFL, and I feel, well, not the NFL, but some of the critics out there. Mate, I thought it was...
they did a ripping job, but...
other than the fact that it cost, what, $32 million?
He tipped him $9 million of his own money to it.
Well, and what's his name? The Weekender.
Weekend, yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, the Weekender.
The Weekender. That's him. So, so there's been a few shenanigans during the bowl. So there was the streaker. No, I'm not a streaker.
Yeah,
so how's that work?
Streaker. Bets money on himself to streak.
How can you be a streaker when you run out in a white mankini with a jacket on?
That was a pink mankini one.
Oh, was it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, mate, if he's 480 odd grand richer, then mate, I'll be going to the Super Bowl next year myself.
How stupid are some of these punting mobs in the US? This bloke's tipped himself at 8-1 to get onto the ground as a streaker. He's made the ground. He copped a fair tackle on that trial on the touchdown line, though.
Yeah, I don't know. Did he make it to the line though? Or he was the next quarterback, the guy that got him as well.
I don't know. I don't know that it would have been one of these to check. I would have thought, but.
I tell you what, I did have a laugh about after the game. Rob Gronkowski came out, and he did say that maybe the Kansas City Chiefs should sign the streaker purely because he's the only one that made the end zone for the Kansas City end.
That's a bit harsh, Gronk. Yeah. But anyway, the Gronk and Brady have old Thomas
and a couple of drinks after the game.
Old superstar MVP
celebrations.
Number 5, number 6 MVP, number 5 MVP.
5 MVP, yeah.
And so Brady and the Gronk were playing past the very, very, very expensive trophy.
Through the Lombardi trophy from... Well, Brady threw it from his boat to Gronk's boat.
Between the boats. As you do when you got something that big and expensive to throw it to each other. So anyway.
Definitely.
Good on the...
Hi, Charlie.
G'day, Charlie. How are you, Dale? Hi, my sister. My sister had time to finish her risotto. Well, that's nice. I'm glad.
We gave her those extra 10 minutes on purpose. Maybe she was like those
Yeah,
What were the guys that did it on our first show?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think you've hacked us, sister, to make us late tonight. But anyway, there you go.
Well played.
Hey, so Eddie's gone.
Eddie's gone, yeah. Eddie's gone from the pies. You got to feel for him a bit. I do.
You've got to be.
He's been there for a long time. He's done a lot for footy. He's done a lot for women's footy.
You're a bit
Done
of
a lot at your club. Disappointing for him to go out the way he did. He shouldn't have.
You're an ordinary character if you sink the boots into him this week, aren't you?
100%.
Well, the guy's done a lot, and the word is he's going to turn up in Spring Street later in the year.
Yeah.
So they're saying that he'll potentially topple Chairman, our friend Dan. So
there we go.
But anyway, he could be the heir to the throne for the. He's been a premier in his president career.
Yeah.
I think now he wants to be a premier in his private career.
Good on him.
Hey,
Why
how
not?
good's that?
Yeah.
Hey, we had Pete Cav's 50th last week.
We did.
Some of you may have seen a little video clip that we took down because there was a bloke in there that got a bit
I think we all were, mate.
touch over amorous about the whole thing. But anyway, happy birthday for last Sunday, Pete.
Yep.
It was a ripping afternoon.
Night. Yep.
Good
Thank
fun. And then we got my bride's 50th to look forward to this Saturday.
Do it all over again.
So the bride finally catches up again,
Yep.
and she's there and going.
Yeah.
What else is going on? Oz Open kicked off this week.
Yeah. I don't know. I'm not into tennis, mate. I see Kyrgios won, and
Ash Barty won again this afternoon.
Kyrgios had a crack at the reporters, apparently,
Did he?
today. Yeah.
Wasn't he having a go at Djokovic or?
I don't know, wasn't I don't know. Like I said, I'm not into
Djokovic?
tennis too much, so
Oh,
you won't do much
not
with
big
me.
fan. But anyway,
Yeah.
there you go. So that was the week that was.
It was, yeah.
That was the week that was.
The highlights.
Hey, beers. So
Beers.
we've been talking about our good list that we've got, the Indie Craft Beers of 2020. We're marking them off as we go.
We are, and we've got a sheet, and I'm actually going to grab it out for a sec. I should have actually done the homework a little bit.
We've done it, but anyway, what we've had to do is we've had to mix the order up a little bit because of availability.
It's crazy. I actually went on and I thought what I'll do, because what we normally do is we'll sort of work out what we're going to do then the day before, and we'll go and get the beers and sort of get ourselves sorted. But we were looking at the beers yesterday. You can't get any of them. Anything in the top sort of 20 of the gaps, it's impossible to get at the moment. You can't even get some of the beers directly through the brewery. It's impossible.
So you were saying the one that we're reviewing tonight, which is
we were supposed to do your mate brewer,
Larry?
who's Larry, and
My mate
they've
Larry.
got, I think Susie, I think it was, or something. They're in the top 100.
Yep.
So we tried to get those, but literally can't even get them from the brewery.
Nothing.
Absolutely
Wow.
nothing. Yeah.
So we've had to push down the list a little bit, and we've turned up at Ballistic.
We have, Ballistic Brewery from Queensland.
Tell us a little bit about Ballistic, Al, because I know you did the homework on these guys today, which was nice.
Which is normally you
normally I
do
dig
the
a little
steer and the
bit.
ship on that, and
No,
I did take it a bit. So it was CEO down there, David Kitchen, and founded 2016. Got together with, started looking for a few sites, found a great place in Salisbury in Queensland there.
Right.
Then started looking for a head brewer. Found himself a guy called Lachlan Crothers, and they've literally been together since. And
Really? So he's been
literally been the same head brewer since day dot. And it's actually there up for 5 years. Start of March, actually, starting next month.
Because they tend to move around a bit.
Yeah, but this guy's stuck with them, and he's. Yeah, I don't know if he's got any stakes in it, but he's stuck with them. And I was having a look at a couple of videos and photos from their Gabs celebrations earlier.
Yep.
So they did really well. But so they're Queensland based. They've got 3 tap houses up there: one in Salisbury, one in Springfield, and one in West End. Mainly all southern Queensland.
Yeah, right.
Yeah,
all
sort
around
of Gold
Brizzy.
Coast down.
Oh, the Goldie. I thought
Goldie,
they were in Brizzy. But anyway, yep, that's okay.
Possibly, mate. But,
Cool.
You know me and maps and
Yep.
Queensland and.
Yeah, nice.
Could be wrong.
So you were telling me they got a lot of beer.
Mate, I couldn't believe it when I jumped on the website, because when I initially started looking at the beers, I could only find a couple of them in Victoria, and I was like, oh well, they're only a small independent mob up in Queensland. But no, could not believe they've got that many. They've got on their website, I think there's about 6 different categories of beers that they've got, and there's about 5 or 6 in each, and then they've got a backlog of beers like their I don't know, what would you call it? The past beers, I've had a mental blank all of a sudden.
Like heritage beers that they've had in their normal range, the core range.
Yeah, it's crazy the amount of limited release beers and things they've done. So
right.
Pretty intense.
So where'd the name Ballistics Ballistic come from?
So
Al?
Ballistic comes from, so they obviously, as I said before, they started in Salisbury, found a great little venue there, got the tap house there, and yeah, that's open Wednesday to Sunday. Great little joint, 18 taps on beer, of beers, some of their ciders.
G'day Silvio, good to
bits
see
and
you on there.
pieces.
Hi Luke, and no problem mate. Good that you're on here.
Yeah, thanks guys. And then yeah, they've got food, and all of the tap houses are dog friendly.
Really?
Yeah, all of them dog friendly.
Oh.
So yeah, but the name. So what they did, they found this place in Salisbury, and they started digging for names. And between David himself and Lachlan, they couldn't come up with a name. So what they started doing is looking into the town of Salisbury and looking into their history and
Yep.
talking to locals. And what they did is they discovered that Salisbury was secretly in World War II produced the munitions for the Australian Army.
Wow.
And so that's how they decided to come up with Ballistic. And what their logo is actually a beer keg with a mistletoe on it.
Yeah, wow.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
So that's where that comes from.
Cool story.
Yeah.
Cool story. So they can't, they're not very good at making up names themselves, but they can make a beer.
Yeah, no,
They go
apparently
right
they can
with
make
beer.
beers, and they do a ripper. And like I said, they've got 18 taps on, and they're forever changing because
Yeah, wow.
all they do all these limited runs that they'll do literally for 8 weeks, and then
So what have they got?
gone.
They got core range.
yeah. So they've got a core range, which is basically like their
You
their
gotta
lagers. I
swim
know.
him,
I
mate. So
literally just saw that
you
as I was
need to get him
halfway
out.
through.
Well, you give him a.
Excuse me. Oh.
Say, come on, mate. Fair crack. We haven't
Sorry,
even
I've
had a
got
go
a
at
swimmer.
that.
So yeah, the core range is basically like their base range. So and not when I say base, it's not their
It's
crap,
just their
it's just-
everyday
it's
range.
their-
Yeah,
yeah, exactly.
It's the stuff
So
they have all
it's-
the time.
They basically got in there. They've got a cold one, which is a starter beer, like a lager, pilsner, something like that. Then they've got a straight lager. They've got a pale ale. They've got an oaked XPA, which is supposed to be really good.
So done in oak barrels.
Yep.
Yep.
And then they've got an IPA.
Yeah, nice.
Yeah, and then they've got a couple of other different ranges. They've got their speciality range,
Yep.
which is where ours comes from, which is the Hawaiian Haze DDH Pale Ale.
What's the DDH? Do you
I
know?
couldn't find it.
Double. It'll be something double hopped, I would imagine.
Double something haze. but
Double
yeah, I did look
dry
it up.
hopped.
Is that what it is?
There it is. It's
You'd
right on
think
the
they
back
would
of the
say it
can,
on
buddy.
the website, when I should have read
It's
the
on the
can as
can.
well. Anyway, is what it
Anyway.
is. So yeah, we've gone with the Hawaiian Haze, but I'll talk about that again in a minute. But in that speciality range, they've got an oak tail.
Yep.
They've got a apple cider, which I found a bit odd. Like an apple cider, like they've got all these beers on their site, and they've got one cider. That's it.
Yeah, wow. The really interesting one's coming up, which I
Mate, this one.
It
This
gets-
is one I
gets
want to
my
try.
attention.
This is actually one I wanted to try. A Mexican hot chocolate stout.
wow.
Which I was like, and I don't mind a stout, but I'll talk about that in a minute because that actually was one of the winners in the Gabs. So, but yeah, that really interested me soon. Yeah.
Wow.
And then yeah, there's just another IPA in that range, and then they've got their limited release ranges or series, as what they call it. And then they've got another three.
Sleep when you're dead.
Yeah. And so they've got they've got this range at the moment out, and it's called Sleep When You're Dead range.
Wow.
And what it is, it's 100% cold stored and sold within 8 weeks of them producing it, so that you get the maximum freshness
Wow.
from the beer.
These guys, from what I know of them, they're all about short runs.
Everything's short.
Small volumes,
Yeah,
so
with
that
their
it's all
speciality.
about drinking fresh beer.
Unless
they
it's
want
their
you,
core range or speciality, everything it
They
doesn't
want
last.
you to
Yeah.
taste out of the can or out of the bottle or out of the tap what the brewer tastes.
Yeah.
And the only way you do that is if you get it really fresh.
Yeah.
So they're doing really short runs, small volumes,
Yeah,
so that you
100%.
get that punch. You
And
get
the thing
whole
with the
thing.
limited release range as well, you can only get it at their tap houses.
Oh,
So we won't get any of the sleep till you're dead when you're dead range.
sleep when you're dead range.
Yeah, unless we
That's
go up to Queensland.
it. Well, no. Bloody spoiled buggers in
I know,
Queensland,
yeah.
aren't
So
they?
then, yeah, you've got your Sweet When You're Dead series, which is basically just a heap of different IPAs
Yeah, right.
and XPAs. So they've got a modern IPA, a hazy IPA, a Nordic IPA, a double IPA, a Pine Pash Nipa XPA, and a hazy IPA.
Hash.
Yeah, Pine
sounds-
Pash,
that sounds
which
alright.
actually that was one of their most sold beers.
Really?
Yeah.
So this Hawaiian's a bit of an unusual. It's almost a bit. It's very fruity. It's very, very bold in its
Pineapple,
flavour.
Would you
Yeah,
go?
yeah, probably even a little bit of pineapple in there by the
Yeah.
feel of it. But yeah, it's certainly a strong sort of fruity,
Oh,
fresh.
100%.
It's a
I
hot.
like it. Yeah.
It's a hot day cold beer drink.
Today.
Yeah.
Drink.
Yeah. It's got to be a hot beer and cool day, I reckon.
Yeah, definitely.
But anyway, there you go.
Yeah,
It's
no,
good.
Definitely.
Righto. So this is the Hawaiian Haze
Haze, yeah.
DDH. So the
And this
double
is one of theirs that won.
double dry hop.
Won them some.
And where did this one
awards
finish?
in-
This was number 6.
So this was their highest rated beer, and luckily enough, this was the only one that we could get
Okay.
in Victoria. Because as I said, with a couple of the ranges, we actually can't get them down here.
Okay.
So yeah, so they had 5 winners in the top 100. This was 6th, which is your Hawaiian Haze.
Their best one?
Yeah, which is Oh no, the best one is that Pine Pash. Everyone says
Oh,
when you
really?
go through their Facebook, everyone raves about the Pine Pash,
Okay.
but you can't get it.
But this is the one that rated on
Yeah,
on
this is
Gaps,
the one that rated,
which is
and-
good. So it's 4.8%.
Yeah,
So it's a medium, like it's a heavy beer, but it's not
it's
up
nice.
there
You could
with the
drink
big
it.
punch
It'd have-
packers like bloody
it'd have
Hawkers.
drinkability,
And,
surely.
yeah, it's got some drinkability. Oh, it must be going all right.
I was gonna say,
in
you've
front of
had
you
tea.
tonight, which is unusual.
Still struggling from Sunday night.
Yeah, it's
But- Yeah, basically they say what they say about this, the Hawaiian Haze, is that it's ballistic's take on a hazy pale to quench your thirst.
First.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not a bad beer.
Hop-driven flavour
For
explosion.
all intents and purposes, it's not a bad beer. I would
Yeah.
give it probably a solid 8.
Wow. Have a look at that. Write that down.
That's probably
Put a
not
circle
bad, is
around it. Yeah.
That's all right, isn't it?
Yeah.
Well, as I said, anyone else out there that's watching, if you've tasted it,
It's
or
not
any
bad.
of the
I don't mind it,
beers,
yeah.
jump.
I'll tell you what, it is up there with the Hawkers hazy. To be honest, I would say. For me.
Oh, yeah, it's up there, but I don't think it knocks off the Hawkers.
No, I'm not saying it knocked it off. I'm just saying it's up there.
Double dipped Hawaiian, we were told the DDH is.
Is it?
No, it's double
That's
dried hops.
Yeah. Or is that just what? No, he's just trying to be funny.
Yeah,
Good work,
I know.
Bubbles.
Yeah, nice work, roaming Bubbles.
Hmm.
Right, so,
Yeah, so also through, so they had another 4 in there, so I did write out a few things on them, but we won't bore everyone with.
yeah, so the
Can't
ones
remember
that
about it,
that got in though were the Oat XPA, the Mexican hot chocolate stout, which would be
Yeah.
really interesting to
I will tell you a bit about that. That was inspired from David Kitchen actually went on a trip to Mexico, and that's what he based it on, some of the drinks that he had there.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, where'd the
Just-
hot chocolate come from? Who drinks hot chocolate in Mexico?
Well, I'm
Don't
sure,
they just drink
I'm sure
tequila
it
with
wasn't
worms?
just hot chocolate. I'm sure
Wow.
there was a bit more in there.
Anyway, so
But yeah.
then they do a lager which got in at 65, and then a watermelon at 97.
Watermelon, which is he calls it watermelon because it's watermelon. Watermelon.
Oh,
But what he calls it is
El's
just raw-
taking the gags tonight.
It's not me. This is them.
Wow.
What do you But what he
Champion.
made this one for is he made this for the Royal Queensland Food and Wine Show,
Really?
and he actually ended up winning awards for it. And it wasn't. He just did it as a filler for his other beers because he was out,
Nice. Hey,
and ended up winning an award.
so that's Ballistics. That's our brewer of the week. They
Yeah.
were number 6 on the Gabs this year, so we can tick them off the list. Not a bad beer, the Hawaiian Haze DDH Pale Ale. While we're talking drinks, and I meant to mention it, and we spoke about getting this bloke in a while ago, Mr. Bear.
Not bad, yeah.
And we spoke about getting Mr. Bear
wonder
in.
where you were going
yeah, wow. So, Mr. Bear has launched a website, and it's called. My sister, who's watching out there, will confirm this for me and put the link up in the chat. Excuse me. Will your sister? I think it's called Vino Moto. Something. It's Vino Moto.
Yeah,
and
I think
it's
it
all,
was Vino Moto. I think
it's all
you were saying earlier,
specialist
yeah.
wines and things, and they do tastings and checks and tests and all sorts of stuff. And it's Mr. Bear and one of his mates
Yep.
have got this website, and they've started up the whole wine thing. So it just adds another element to what we're talking about. So now's probably a good time. In the next few weeks, I'll follow up with Mr. Bear, make sure he's still good to come in, and
Yeah.
we'll talk about his
In
new
fact, it was
site.
10 minutes down the road.
Yeah,
Not
he
even,
is.
yeah.
Yeah. And we'll talk about what he's doing and a bit about Vino Moto.
Yeah,
And, maybe we'll try a couple of their wines
definitely.
with our food. So
I'll
looking
do it when
forward
we're
to
doing
that.
a cook-up
So
night, and we sit out the back and he can
Yeah.
try wine and we'll cook some
we'll cook some
food.
snags or a bit of steak
sure
or
he'd be happy
something.
with it. Yeah.
There it is. It is, no, sorry, Vino O'Clock. vino.com.au.
See, you're even lying to me
Not
earlier.
Vino,
You said-
mate.
I know, now you made me look silly.
Vino o'clock. So you'll see that there. It's in the chat. Check it out. Good guys, Melbourne blokes, getting up, running their own wine business online. So have a look at it, check it out, and we'll get him in to talk about it soon.
Nice.
There you
Sounds
go.
good.
My sister's put the website up and
How
everything.
good is she?
Hey?
Huh?
Soups is going on leave, so hey.
I know, yeah. We're losing Soups this week. We
are.
won't have her for the next 8 to 10 weeks.
Soups is having a hiatus for a few weeks.
She's doing some higher learning.
So we're going to have to, we'll wing it.
Yeah.
We'll see if we can manage to get by without it.
Yeah, we'll have to.
I don't know how we're going to go.
We might be short. We might be short on a few of the messages and stuff the next few weeks.
Speaking of Soups, here she comes.
I know, yeah,
There
she's
you go.
deserted again.
Anyway,
It's not
there
bad
you
enough
go.
she's deserting us for 8 to 10 weeks.
Well, she can't even
She's
stay with us one night.
I know, yeah.
Things are getting crook in
One job.
Things are getting crook in Tallarook, I tell you.
What did I miss?
Hey, anyway,
Everything.
just the stuff about beer, which is not your gig anyway. Hey, tonight we're going to change it up a little bit. Originally, we were going to try and get Sam from.
Kimber on, yeah, from.
We're going to get Sam
Sauce Low
from
and Slow.
Sauce Low and Slow. And
But he's on a
unfortunately,
plane.
Sam got a little bit caught up this week. And
Bit
he's on,
inconvenient for us.
yeah,
We've not got telephones or something on planes
What
now.
was he bloody thinking? Geez, Sam, come on, let you go. Anyway,
No, all good.
Hey,
He's going to
look,
be around next week.
he is. He's committed to us for next week, and he's going to get on and talk all things rubs. So
Yep.
Mr. Rub will be here next week. Sam
Doing
Kimber.
a bit of rubbing, is he?
I'm gonna nickname him now Mr. Rub. So Sam, that's your new name, and it would have
Sam the rubber.
made a great name brand for his rubs, wouldn't it, Mr. Rub?
Yeah.
Anyway, there you go. So Sam from Sauce Low and Slow will be on here with us next week and talking to us about rubs.
Definitely.
So get ready for that. This week though, I've done a little bit of research, and I want to tell everyone a little bit about brines and marinades.
Yeah.
So brine or marinade, that is the question. Which do you want? Which one do you use for which food? When do you use it? How do you use it? What are they? All that kind of stuff. So I want to talk to you.
Marinade, you marinate your meat. Brine your chicken or turkey.
Really? That's it?
Surely that's it.
Yeah, right, okay. So what are they and when are they used? Brining means to soak a food in a saline solution to improve its texture and moisture.
It's not saline that you put in your eyes.
Content. No, I wouldn't use drops. You'd probably need a few from the cover of chuka and turkey. Might need a few bottles, but don't do that. And it ultimately helps with keeping the meat juicier during the cooking process.
Yes.
So that's what brining's all about. And brining is normally used with leaner meats that don't have the same juiciness and fat content that a nice
So
big
like your
fat
chicken
marbled
and turkey
steak.
and yeah.
Chicken, turkey, some fishes are really good with it.
Yep.
Stuff like that, seafood and that kind of thing where you don't have a high fat content,
Yeah.
but you don't want it to dry out during the cooking process. That's where you'd use brining.
Okay.
And it's about, brining is basically preserving and or flavouring with salt.
Okay, cool.
So salt is the key ingredient when you talk about brining.
Yeah.
If we talk about marinating is to soak a food in a flavourful mixture of ingredients to impart the flavour on the surface or just below the surface of the actual meat. It doesn't penetrate right into it, so therefore it doesn't add that juice sort of, that moistness and that juice factor into it. And it just means that marinating is preserving and or flavouring with an acid.
Okay.
Right?
Yep.
So brining's with salt, marinating is with an acid. And when we talk about acids, we're talking about things like
So like when you
vinegar,
do- yeah. It's like
fruit,
when you're marinating like your barbecue sauces and your
Worcestershire sauce, soy
Yeah.
sauce, vinegar, even yogurt. Yogurt can be a marinade. All of those sorts of things are your marinades. And they're not there to add juiciness and keep the juiciness, they're there to add flavour.
Yeah, well.
Brining is for juiciness. So I want to tell you about brining. With the brining, it's a transport process at the molecular level of the protein that you're working with,
Okay,
which
yep.
sounds very scientific.
It does. I was going to say that.
And I would normally sit here and
I
explain
didn't
it
want
to
to get
you,
in the way of your scientific.
but I know you just go glazy-eyed and glaze over and stop listening now, so I'm not going to do that. But what it does is the water and the dissolved salt and sugar, so
Yep.
we add a bit of sugar in there, they get into the meat itself, they get into the food, they flavour it, and its water content altering the protein's actual structure.
Yeah.
So meat has tight wound protein strands, so the muscular sort of strands that are in it. The salt from the brine causes them to unwind and trap and
Sort of
retain
breaking
water
down a bit.
molecules.
Yeah.
So the salt opens it up, the water gets in and it traps it in. So ultimately during dry heat cooking, there's less loss of juice or moisture, and
Yeah.
the food remains juicier, right? So you're going to
Yeah,
get juicier, plumper sort of products. And the thing with it, the easiest way to tell when something's brined properly
Yeah.
is weigh it before you brine it and then weigh it when it comes out. You'll know the moisture
You'll see the
content's in there
difference.
because
Yeah.
it's quite significant how it sucks
wow.
it in. So your basic brine mix is in 3 parts these days, and
Yeah.
brining, where years ago it was used, brining and curing and things like that, they were used to preserve meats when they didn't have refrigerators and ice boxes and those sorts of things to be able to
stick
keep
it in a
things.
bucket and
So that's what they used to do to actually preserve the meat and make it last longer. Well, now we don't do it that way. So the modern version of brining is not just to do that, it's to actually add that moisture content. A little bit of flavour where you can. So you can add flavours to a brine as well.
Well, you see it a lot around Christmas and Thanksgiving with all the Americans with their, and everything's always, they're shoving lemons and oranges.
Well, the
and
salmon I
everything in
did the
their
other
brine.
week, which was maple syrup, orange juice, sugar, all in there, butter, all in the brine.
Yeah.
So I didn't actually do a marinade.
Anything,
I didn't do a marinade or a rub. It was purely all based around that
all
brine.
the flavour was already in there.
Which is great. So your normal basic brine mix works on these ratios, right? So it's 16 parts water, or if you're going to do it in cups, 16 cups of water,
Yep.
2 cups of brown sugar,
Yep.
1 cup of kosher salt.
Why
Now
kosher salt?
I say kosher
Why?
salt. The reason I say kosher salt is because it dissolves much more quickly. You don't get the crystals of the salt that stay in the water
and get it stuck on your meat.
Yeah, and get all on the meat. They don't, rather than penetrating and getting in and doing what they've got to do
You
to
don't want
open
salt
up.
on your meat, do you?
No, prefer not. It's not very nice. So, to make up your brine, the easiest way to do that is to take a quarter of the water. So if you've got 16 cups, it's, look, I did math, 4 cups of water.
This is good.
Put it in a saucepan on your stove, put your sugar and your salt in the water and boil it until the salt and the sugar dissolve.
Yep.
So then you got 4 and a bit litres with whatever in there, and then add it to the remaining 12 cups of cold water that you got.
Okay, so
So it's already
at
dissolved.
first you're creating like a syrup, I suppose, or a concentrate.
Well, it's almost
And
like
then,
gelatin, right? It's
Yeah.
like jelly.
Yeah.
So you got to heat it up. You got to dissolve the sugar and the salt, then mix it in with the remainder of the water.
Okay, yeah.
Then put it in. Generally, get a glass dish. Try and get one of those nice. I've got one of those Pyrex long sort of dishes that you get. That, and then cover it. Put it in the fridge.
Yeah, nice.
Right. With brining, you don't want to over brine, so you got to be a bit careful with it though.
Yeah.
Because if you over brine something, particularly smaller items, things like shrimp or prawns, stuff like that, if you leave them in too long, they'll just become absolutely overpowered with the salt flavour, and they'll start to dry out. So you don't want to do that, right? So that's the whole idea. So don't over brine unless you intend it.
Why would you intend to do it when you're not supposed to do
Well,
it?
when you talk about anchovies, herring,
You can keep anchovies, mate.
well, those things, like all those hairy fish type products, because what it does with those is it actually changes the product itself completely. So it actually ferments. So you talk about fermented herring, one of the most hideous foods in the world. I'm sure everyone's seen some sort of ridiculous food challenge where someone's got to eat, fermented herring.
Yeah.
But that's the process. So basically, if you leave it in too long, it'll start to ferment, and that's when you get that really. That's why anchovies are so damn salty.
Yeah.
Basically. So that's what brining's all about. We're going to put a guide up on the website and probably on here. We actually might stick it in the Meatin Place page.
Okay, yeah.
But as a bit of a guide, anything less than half a kilo should be brined for about 30 minutes. I know it doesn't sound like much, but when you've got that much
enough,
salt and sugar, it's enough, right?
Half a kilo's not much though, is it?
No.
Let's be honest. When you think about a chicken breast, half a kilo.
Well, that's 2 chicken breasts, basically.
Yeah.
You could do in half an hour, so it won't take you long. Half a kilo to 2 kilos is anywhere between 45 and 60 minutes. 2 to 3 kilos, 60 to 120 minutes. 3 kilos to 5, up to about 6 hours.
Yep.
Anything over 5 kilos, you're talking 12 to 24 hours.
Yeah, well.
Sometimes you can leave it longer. depending on the size. I mean, obviously, the bigger, the more you're going to need. But you know, there's big industrial buckets of brine that you can get and all sorts of things. But it's easy enough to make yourself: kosher salt, brown sugar, water.
Yep.
That's it. Easy.
Can't get any easier.
And you can add some bits and pieces to it yourself if you like.
Make oranges and a bit of lemon.
And that's basically brining. And if you do that with your chicken and all those sorts of things, especially on low and slow, when it's got time to really sort of dry out.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, it's going to help. Yeah, definitely.
Yep. Having said that, I'll tell you a bit more after I talk about marinating, but you can brine and then marinate. So if you don't want to add the flavour into your brine, you can put the flavour in your marinade.
So you just brine with your basic water.
Water, salt and
sugar. Yeah.
Yep. So that'll get you through, and at least that'll keep it nice and moist and juicy for you. Even though I really hate that word, I'm not saying it again. So marinating, Al. Marinating's to soak food in a flavourful mixture of ingredients to import the desirable flavour into its surface. Certain ingredients, like enzymes that are found in fruit, yogurt, and all that sort of thing, can tenderise the food a little bit.
Yeah.
To a certain extent.
Actually, I've done chicken in yogurt before.
Yeah.
Did chicken yogurt, some raw onion, and it was probably some of the best chicken I've ever done.
I think Indian cooking incorporates a lot of yogurt for marinating.
Yeah.
From what I know of it, and I'm no expert on Indian cooking, but I gather they use quite a bit, because you see quite a few Indian and Sri Lankan dishes and things that include yogurt. So, same sort of thing. That being said, the principal purpose is to flavour, not to tenderise the meat.
Yeah.
Right. Some of those things that are a bit more acidic will tenderise a little bit more, but the lighter things, even beer is a marinade.
Yeah.
Wine, when you do a white wine marinade or whatever.
Yep.
It's the first and foremost a mixture of oil with an acidic ingredient, along with some spices, herbs, fruits, any of that kind of thing, to add flavour, whatever your preference is. I mean, this is like rubs. It's one of those things.
It's all personal taste.
What do you like?
Exactly.
Just put it in there, give it a go. It's not going to hurt.
No.
And the beauty with marinades, you don't like them too much, you rub them off.
Exactly.
They're only on the surface, so you can still get the flavour of the meat and all that sort of thing. So it doesn't penetrate deep into the food. It infuses its surface with the flavour of its ingredients, right? So a basic marinade recipe, you should stick to 3 parts fat, 1 part acidic. So your acidic part is your vinegar or your beer or your whatever you're going to use, and then all your other ingredients to taste. Okay, so it's pretty open to how you want to run it.
Cool.
Yeah. So the parts that acid can be increased when the acidic ingredients is not too strong. For example, beer, wine, cider, mustard, as a apple cider or rice vinegar. When it's very acidic, though, the ingredients such as citrus juices, yogurt, you have to really be careful with the amount that you put in, because if you put too much acid in and leave it there too long, it'll make the surface of the meat go all mushy.
Okay.
And you don't want that.
No.
It's going to turn you up. And
No
it's
one
not
wants
going to
mushy ribs, mate.
When you're doing marinades, always use a non-reactive container, because you're dealing with acids, right? You don't want any of the flavours of any of the plastic containers or any of that sort of thing. So always try and use a glass dish. Always marinate food. Cover it and put it in the fridge. Don't leave it on the bench.
Yep.
Don't leave it out. All that kind of thing. And don't repurpose or use a used marinade for basting liquids or glazes. Remember, you've had raw meat in there.
Yeah, of course.
And the surface and
And the thing we use in acid when you're cooking meat as well is it's starting the cooking process.
So if you want your marinade as a glaze or a sauce, cook extra to begin with and set it to the side. It's not the stuff that you marinate your meat in. Once you've used the marinade for your meat, pour it down the sink, get rid of it.
Yep.
Chuck it in the garden, do whatever you're going to do with it and get rid of it. So it's no good, otherwise you're going to make you and possibly your friends and family pretty cruel.
Yeah.
Right?
It's not what anyone wants when they're doing a cook-up, really.
No. But anyway, there you go. So, discard used marinades, reserve a small amount of the freshly mixed stuff so that you've got it, and then use that as your basting liquid.
Yep.
Can you brine and then marinate? Yes, of course you can. So once you've done your brining process, take it out, pat it dry, then apply your marinade, put it back in the fridge to marinate for a little while, then go and cook it like you would normally.
Yep.
And then you'll get a super bang of flavour.
Beautiful.
So that is a bit of a rundown, or my rundown, the basics, the 101s of brine versus marinade, right?
Yep.
So there is also curing, and curing is basically all that anyway.
Yeah.
Curing generally refers to what is normally called dry brining.
Yep.
So curing is putting salt in with the product dry, not water and sugar and all that sort of thing, so that you dry it out and do all that sort of stuff. Which is what happens with bacon, jerky, all that kind of stuff.
Yep.
Right?
Yeah, because you're starting that cooking process when you're doing the bacon and
Hey,
you're doing your dries.
It's enough of me being serious. I can't cope with this. Hey, Al,
Oh no.
what do you call a salty robot?
What do you call a salty robot, Peter?
Optimus Brine.
They get better every week. We need to have votes on this, I'm sure.
Hey, PA's jokes of the week already. Hang on. You know what happened? I was wondering.
PA's dad jokes. Should we
I
call
was
them?
wandering along the street on the weekend. It was pretty. I got stabbed in the eye with a pickle.
Did you?
Yeah. Now I'm brined in that eye. And my last
Help
one
me.
for the night. The last one for the night that I've got for you all is, what do you call an ape cooking a barbecue, Al?
Well, no. What do you call an ape cooking a barbecue?
A
There's
griller.
So many, right. Jeez. There's so many answers I could have had for that.
God, I cracked myself up. I honestly cracked myself up. How good am I going, eh? So that's your look and learn session for tonight, guys.
Yeah, good work, mate.
So brine, marinade. I didn't do as much of the.
I'm sure everyone's a bit more wiser on brining and marinating now. And,
I've told you about
They gotta
salt. I've told you about what else have I told you about?
and then you dumbed it down with your PA's dad joke of the
I'm
week.
just taking the edge off it, all right? People, I don't want people taking me too seriously. This is about fun. So anyway, there you go. We have got some comments coming up. We've got some vomit faces. We've got some why. I hope they're not all reference to my jokes.
Probably, 100% they would be, yeah.
Well, thanks for that. Hey guys, if you got any questions, pop them up now, and we'll get to them in a sec. We're going to talk about what's cooking last week and this week,
Yep.
and then we'll come back to your questions. So throw some questions up for us. Can be silly, can be sensible, can be whatever.
Yep, and if we're not sure, then we'll find out for next week.
Exactly. What we threw a challenge out last week, didn't we? And we were going to give away some rubs.
We were, and we didn't even look at it, did we?
Whose
It
photos?
was the best
Where are the
post on
photos?
The post on the 2SG Meatin Place.
Who put photos up on the Meatin Place
I think it
website?
was Michelle, Sam.
Jeepers
Oh,
creep.
that's
No,
good.
it was
Yeah.
Show Us Your Kitchen, is what it was.
Yeah.
Your home cook kitchen.
Yeah.
So this week you've got some homework. Go and send us a bloody photo of your home cook kitchen, your Barbie set up at home.
Definitely.
What'd you cook last week, Al?
What did I do? I did some pork ribs last week.
How were they?
They weren't bad.
What'd you have under them? I've seen the photo. Was
A
it
few
onion rings?
Yeah, did some onion rings with it.
So were they ones out of the freezer bag?
Oh,
from Coles,
100%, of course they were. Straight out in the air fryer, 5
you
minutes,
make 'em?
mate, they were done. No,
Oh,
God, no, they look too good for homemade ones.
So what'd you do? How'd you do your beef ribs last week?
How did I? I did my 3-2-1, but I don't really do 3-2-1. I do 3-2 and then I do a half. I only really do that last sort of open marinated for about half an hour. I never do the full hour. Never have.
I've cut it back at the other end. So instead of
Yeah.
doing 3-2-1, I did 2.5,
You
2
can
and
see
1
these
now.
ones were the Costco ones that I get,
Yeah.
the pork ones, and they're a real thing. If you have a look on it and you saw the photo, they're actually a really thick rib.
Mm.
And to be honest, like every time I make them, I have probably 3 ribs and I'm full.
Yeah, wow.
And there's a good 10 ribs on each rack.
You could probably
on those.
stick a couple extra in at the moment. You could do them.
Probably.
Anyway, hey Glennie, just by the way,
No-
the
no
pallets
fractured
aren't in
ones.
yet. We are trialling some samples that we got. We could potentially have some other bags of pallets
I think I've got one spare.
in the interim. So if you do want pallets, let us know. We can possibly
due,
get
yeah.
some to you. But let us know. So what I did, as I said, was I did some grilling this last week. I didn't really get much of a chance last weekend to do too much with the
Weekend, really, wasn't it?
new baby being born and then out with you
Yep.
crowd on Sunday and Monday. What happened with the porchetta over Christmas? How did it go? It went beautifully, thanks sister. It was very nice. I put photos up. Don't you people look at the photos? Jesus. Anyway, so I did some Malaysian satay sausages,
Yeah.
chicken satay, which are beautiful. I get them from the Butcher's Club.
Yeah, nice.
So there's a few of
They're
those.
the ones who
around
did
Melbourne.
the VB snags.
They are. They do
Yeah,
VB.
yeah,
VB sausages.
Yeah. I
Well,
haven't tried them yet.
Your
We'll
brother
have
would
to
be
give them a go.
your brother would be
Sean
all
will be
over
all
that.
over them. Yeah, definitely.
VB snags, he'd love that.
So. He was running around the other day in his VB
volleys
shoes. Yeah.
Yep.
Loving them.
So I had some of those. We did a Mexican chili and cheese beef sausage, which was again, that was very, very nice.
Yeah, nice.
And I think the bride might be cleaning up the remainder of those for dinner tonight while I'm out.
Good on her.
And then we had some lemon pepper chicken shazliks, and I was going to say,
I know you get upset about shazliks, don't you?
Look, they're really nice, but
you can never cook them perfectly, can you?
When you buy them ready to go, what irritates me is that when you cook them, they don't cook evenly. You get bits that don't cook properly, and others that do, and I'm not. It just annoys me. So I think from now on, what I'm going to do is I'm going to cube up the meat myself.
Yeah.
Cook the veggies separately and then put them on. Just so I know.
Oh, you can give it a go. Why not?
Hey, don't get me wrong. They're all cooked.
Yeah.
But it's just, I don't know. You don't get that nice, crispy sort of charred finish on the meat.
Yeah.
Without the veggies either going soft, because they all cook differently. So, shazliks, unless you make them fresh with your own ingredients.
That's it.
That's my call.
Oh, why not? What's on this week? What are you cooking? It's a busy weekend again, isn't it?
3 weeks in a row. I could say fish, but I'm not.
You've been doing that, you've been doing fish for about 3 weeks.
This will be 3 weeks in a row. I've promised the bride that I'm going to do salmon again.
And it's her birthday this week. You're still not going to do it for her.
I'll tell you, I am going to cook whatever,
cook the fish.
Whatever she wants me to cook on Saturday, I'll cook. Simple as that.
Yeah?
Yep.
Good on you.
It's her birthday Saturday.
It's her party on Saturday. So what you're saying
Sunday,
is she can have what she wants when she orders at the pub.
Well, that too. No, whatever she wants on Sunday, I will cook for her.
Nice.
I had my days around the wrong way, so yes, we will be celebrating Saturday, and but Sunday I'll cook whatever she wants me to cook.
Nice.
So that's what I'm going to do this weekend.
Good on you.
What are you cooking?
I'm going to do some beef cheeks this week.
Beef cheeks?
I've never done them. I've never done beef cheeks. I've seen a couple of people doing them online, and I know Pete Briscoe had a crack at them. Yeah, give him a go on the Oak Joe's.
Yeah, right.
Long on and see how we go.
Oh, you're actually going to do some work and light some charcoal.
That's it, mate.
Huh?
Yeah, I haven't.
No pellets for you.
I haven't had the long on for about 3 weeks. So
hey, Glennie Ryan, he'll have some spare pellets because he's actually going to get off his ass and cook with some charcoal.
Exactly. Yeah. I think I've got a spare bag there.
Yeah, nice. Nice.
If he's urgent for some, then.
So how are you going to do it? Look,
I don't know. I'll be honest. I've got no idea. I've never done them before. Don't know how to do it. I'm going to jump online, do a bit of research tomorrow, and we'll see how we go.
You share that with us?
Yeah.
Share the recipe with us?
It depends how it comes out. It might be dry and terrible, and no one will want the recipe.
Brine them.
But look, let's see how we go.
Brine them.
I might marinate them.
It's just playing with me, yeah. It's just playing.
Now I know the difference.
There it is. Hey, so next week, Mr. Rubbs is here.
Yeah, Mr. Rubb.
What else? I'll tell you that we need to remind everyone. There is, what have we got left? 2 weeks left.
2 weeks
of the rambling through summer promo.
3 weeks.
Yeah,
pretty much. Yeah,
2.5, 3 weeks.
Yeah.
Yep.
Well, it'll be 3 weeks before we announce it.
So we got the rambling through summer promo that's still running through our Facebook page.
Yep.
Get on there. Send people there. You want a chance to win this thing. It's worth $500.
Yeah.
With a few extra bits and pieces thrown into it. Why wouldn't you want to go at it? So it's a beautiful charcoal grill from Oklahoma Joe's. Solid little thing.
Yeah.
Still portable. Throw it in the back of the wagon, take it camping with you, whatever you want to do. Right. And then we're throwing in all the other bits and pieces that go with it.
Yeah.
How can you go wrong with that?
Great little pickup, so why wouldn't you?
And all you have to do, Al, is...
All you got to do is like and share the 2SG page, FB and Insta page. You've got to like, share and tag 5 mates on the 2SG FB post, Rambling Through Summer. And yeah, that's it. That's all you got to do. That's it. Two things.
Yeah,
pretty much.
That easy.
Yeah.
Tell you what, get over to...
3 things, because you've got to like and share, I suppose.
I did cop a bit of a slap last week. There's a bloke who jumped on our website and wanted to cook the jalapeno poppers, and he goes, "Where's your recipe for jalapeno poppers?"
It wasn't so happy.
It's on there, right? So El's ballpark mac and cheese is up. My poppers are up. I've done some cleaning up on the website with some of the recipes and the front page and a few other bits and pieces.
Yeah.
So if you haven't been on there for a little while, get back on, have a look.
Have a look. Let us know what you think.
Have a look and give us some feedback. While you're there, jump into the shop, place an order, stick in your code FBLive10 to get your Facebook mates 10% discount.
Yep.
And we're good to go.
That's it.
All right. What else you got?
That's it, mate. I think we're done.
Soups,
We should let these people enjoy their Thursday
You're
night.
going to give the crew a wave before you take off. Did you just stick your hand in from the side and give them a wave? And
No.
not fair enough.
Because I'm not coming back.
Well, you're leaving us.
I'm not leaving for good though.
Oh, might as well be. 8 weeks.
Got places to be, mate.
Mate,
People to see.
this 8 weeks will make it redundant. You watch, we'll get some hot young little.
What the are you saying? I'm not hot or young? You won't be freaking coming back here next week either.
Hey, we'll miss you. We'll miss you.
You're on thin ice after last week anyway.
Anyway, let's not go there. Cutting boards are going beautifully. Make sure you get on and have a look at them.
Have a look.
I'll tell you what, I did put
Along with the coasters.
And the coasters. I put a photo up on the Meatin Place page
Yeah.
to show how much juice they actually hold, right? And
Yeah, I saw that. There was about a cup on there, wasn't there?
Mate, I poured half a cup.
Oh, was it half? Was it?
Yep. So I've got one of the small ones, and I poured a half a cup of water onto the top of the board just to see how much, and it held half a cup.
Yeah, wow. That's awesome.
It was awesome.
Good work, Neil.
So good work, old fella. You've done a ripping job, and he did come down. Hey, my dad was down earlier in the week. If you want a chop and board office, get in soon because he's got to go and have a back operation and he'll be off the tools for a while. So if you want one, let us know quick.
Mm-hmm.
Give us the dimensions and whatever else and what colour wood and what you want written on it or whatever.
Yep.
And we can get it all set up and ready to go.
Nice. Now, the other thing I was going to quickly mention,
Welcome to...
my sister has started up her own little business called Sense by Shell.
Yep.
And not sense, she's not giving away money.
No.
Senses in your smellies.
Oh.
And so anyone that's on, she's on there now actually, Sense by Shell, she's actually just jumped on. So click on the link, jump on her page, have a look.
Put your
She's
link
got all
on
sorts
Shell.
of perfumes, aftershaves, and it is Valentine's Day this week as well.
Yes,
so if
it is
anyone needs anything,
Valentine's Day.
who asked you to pop up?
That's why
So
I'm
yeah,
gonna
anyone
add-
who's after any scents for yourself, partner, friends, families, birthdays coming up,
I know-
jump on.
Hot new
Get in.
things you might be bringing in.
I know a few people that I could get some sense for.
Just a different sense.
Yeah, right. Yep.
You're
Yep.
talking
Common
SEN,
sense.
SE, yeah.
Talking common sense. But
Yeah.
anyway, there you go. So there you go. Check out Sense by Shell if you want some perfume or some aftershave. If you want your chopping boards at Shell, I heard you about your coasters. I'll talk to you about them. Get in and get it.
Yep. That's it.
I reckon that's about us, mate.
We're done. Go and enjoy your Thursday night.
Look at that, right on an hour. Hey, I'll tell you what, between now and then, and by the time we see Mr. Rubs, keep on
Smoking, grilling,
and
chilling.
chilling.
Thanks for
Enjoy
joining us
night.
again, guys. Have a great week.